How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Game of the Year. So this is a video I have made every year for 3 years now. This is the third time I've made this video, and if you haven't been here for that long, basically what we're going to be doing is going and having a look at all the games that have come out this year in 2016, and then at the very end I will give you my #1 pick, my favorite game that has come out this year. So pretty chilled out video. Let's get straight into it and have a look what has come out this year. First of all, we've got the new Final Fantasy. People were really revved up for that game. I've never actually played any of them, so please don't get pissed off if if that makes you mad. I really would like to get this game though. It looks absolutely awesome. I think people tended to go a bit quiet once it came out though. I was quite surprised because even I heard quite a lot revved up for this new Final Fantasy. But once it came out, it kind of just disappeared from my feeds. Like, I didn't see it on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or anything like that. It kind of just disappeared. So as popular as it is, I don't really know what happened to it. The Last Guardian, that game just looked hypnotizing. Holy hibbity bejeebies. Dishonored 2, another difficult game that people were quite excited for, as opposed to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Yeah, so the trailer for Call of Duty is now the second most disliked video on YouTube, just behind Justin Bieber. Gotta love Justin Bieber. Even Call of Duty can't catch up to his young, cute little... Yeah, I won't even go on with that. The game itself didn't look, all that bad. I think once it came out, people were sort of, gave into it, as I actually predicted they would. I refused to buy that game. I refused to buy any more Call of Duties. That thing was just living off DLC. The new remake that came out with Call of Duty was... people are just spending hundreds of dollars on a game that they all disliked the video and claim that they wouldn't get, but as I said, most people just went and got it anyway. Watch Dogs 2... meh, I think was the biggest one for Watch Dogs 2. The first one, I actually predicted that with the very first one, I said it doesn't look that good, and people are all telling me everywhere, nah man, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be the greatest game ever, and then they all came out and they went, Watch Dogs 2 probably wasn't as bad as Watch Dogs 1. They did pick up on a few things, but I think all in all, people sort of have the same, it's alright for Watch Dogs 2, which is similar to how people felt with Tom Clancy's The Division. This was a game I was very excited for. I thought the trailers looked absolutely awesome. The biggest problem I found with this game was, first of all, they fucked the Dark Zone. That could have been so freaking cool, but no, they screwed it up. It just did not work. The leveling up was dull, boring, and it was just too risky. Like, there was just absolutely no point. And then if you didn't want to go with online multiplayer and you just wanted to run around the free roam city as normal, all of the missions did not respawn. As in, once you'd completed them, that's it, done. There's nothing there. There is literally nothing you could do. So it's, I don't know, it just came, it started out really cool. Day one, I thought, I'm going to be playing this game forever, but then after a week or so, I sort of realized the repetitive nature of the game, and yeah, not my #1 pick for this year, but not too bad. In saying that, I am pretty glad I've got it on my shelves. It is a really cool looking game. The fights can get pretty friggin' intense. It can be pretty damn awesome. Speaking of intense and awesome, Doom. Damn, how's that for a segue? Doom is just, wow. This is bringing games back to their old school nature, that it's just Doom. You know what I mean? When the main character, the guy you're actually playing as, is a freaking badass. The graphics are awesome. The monsters are just gory and gross and badass. The guns are just way over the top and more powerful than they need to be, and it's freaking awesome. Not my #1 pick for this year, but high recommendations to Doom. If you have not bought Doom yet, go and get it just so you've got it, because it is freaking badass. Steep just came out not too long ago. This is snowboarding, skiing, wingsuit, paragliding, all that nonsense. And this game, I actually thought I did my first yes or no video on it, so you guys can go back. It was one of the last videos I did just a week or two ago. And I think this game was actually pretty friggin' cool. A lot of people seem to be a little underwhelmed by it. They all think it's a bit, there's just not enough to offer in the game, which I suppose I can completely understand where they're coming from. But as someone who really loves extreme sports games, this game just absolutely encapsulated me in the sense that it just looks beautiful. It flows really nicely. I think it is a little too easy in the sense that some of the biggest tricks you can do in this game are just a piece of piss to do. I hardly ever stack, and so I kind of, I don't know, very relaxing though, very fast, beautiful, gorgeous game. I actually really enjoyed Steep. Hitman has finally hit the markets as well, slowly but surely, mission by mission. That game is coming out. I've not played it for myself, but it looks pretty badass. It would have been nice to actually, you know, get it all in one, in one go. But, you know, whatever. Deus Ex, Mankind Divide looks pretty alright, you know, one of those games you sort of just see march by. If you're excited for it, you're excited for it. Otherwise, Dark Souls 3, I actually went and bought one of the other Dark Souls thinking I'll see what those are like compared to the new one, and it was just that hard that I got really pissed off and just put it away. I haven't got enough patience for single player games to work my way through a Dark Souls game. And speaking of working your way through a game, No Man's Sky. I think a lot of people started working their way through that game before they realized it was shit. Now, all of the DLC and any added content coming out for No Man's Sky will be free. So if you can pick it up cheap, I would actually recommend it in the sense that it is an extremely relaxing, hypnotizing game. Just being able to look at a planet up in the sky and go, I can jump in my ship and fly there. Just straight there, no loading screens, no nothing, is pretty damn awesome. And now, I'm not going to use this video to go into the politics of, you know, false advertisement and things like that. I was a little underwhelmed when it first came out, but at the same time, I still think it's really relaxing. It's a beautiful game. It's really cool. Just discovering planets and things is pretty awesome. And once all the DLC starts hitting the markets, No Man's Sky could be what it was originally ramped up to be. But, you know, I can completely understand why people wouldn't buy it. Uncharted 4 is a game that I think, you know, seems to be coming out with PlayStations a lot. Like, if you go down to JB Hi-Fi or something, and you want to buy a PlayStation 4, Uncharted 4 is probably going to be coming with it, and it does look pretty cool. Mafia 3 mixed opinions about, I think, from a lot of people, in the sense that some people that I've heard think it's really cool, but the missions can be repetitive. Some people were a little underwhelmed with the graphics and stuff like that. It looks alright. It looks pretty cool is probably the best way to describe it. Pretty cool. Sort of the same as Gears of War 4, which also came out this year, which looks pretty cool. But I think by now, Gears of War originally was really cool, was really different, something awesome, and you know, just, I don't know, crazy. But I think as more and more of them have come out, people are starting to go, you know, okay, we've seen enough Gears of War. We're gonna let's move on from that. Let's do something a little different. Titanfall 2, on the other hand, absolutely nailed that. Let's do something a little different, and that game was absolutely full on. I think took the world by storm. Unfortunately, it was sort of hid behind Battlefield 1, which came out about the same time. I think a lot more people were excited for that one. The first Titanfall, of course, people did not like whatsoever, and so I think no one was really prepared for such an awesome game with Titanfall 2, and it came out, people loved it, but unfortunately, you know, that's probably why you've got to nail the first game, because you want people excited for that second one. If people were more excited and more prepared for Titanfall 2 to come out, it would have probably hit the world by a much bigger storm. But high recommendations to Titanfall 2. I'm going to have to pick a copy up for myself. I have had a little go at it at friends' houses and stuff like that, but I haven't actually got my own copy, so I will have to do that. XCOM 2, you think whatever you want for that one. Civilization 6 looks pretty badass. Then we've got Overwatch. Wow, this game just blew up. Holy crap. It's, I think Overwatch is not a game that I can completely get into, though, in the sense I'm a guy that plays a lot of Rainbow Six Siege and Battlefield games, and just sort of semi-realistic first-person shooters along those lines. Overwatch, it looked like to me, because I didn't play any of the betas or alphas or anything like that, it looked like a game that was just sort of like a cartoon first-person shooter, but then of course I played it for myself, and it is a very good-looking, beautiful game. You'll have just finished watching it at the very start of this video, some highlights I had, and it is difficult. This is a really hard game to get the hang of. Learning all the characters, learning the characters' weaknesses and things like that, I can completely understand. Stadiums are being filled watching professionals play this game. This has gone worldwide. People have just gone absolutely crazy over Overwatch, and although I can't get into it completely, and that's not because the game is bad. This game is absolutely spot on, but because it's by Blizzard, you know that more and more DLC will be coming out for free. More characters, more maps, stuff will be hitting the market. There will be no paid DLC. It is an awesome game. If you have not bought Overwatch, go and pick it up. It is not my game, though, in the sense that there's nothing wrong with of it at all. It's just not my game, if you know what I mean. Sort of in the same as Street Fighter V, which also hit the markets this year. I was a Mortal Kombat player when I was a kid. I loved myself some Mortal Kombat. I never got into Street Fighter or Tekken or anything like that. And in saying that, I never got huge into Mortal Kombat, just like Overwatch. These aren't really my games, and so will not be my number one personally, but Street Fighter V looked, you know, alright. I think people had a problem with the DLC when it came to that game. Forza Horizon 3 looks pretty cool. That game was probably just the exploration when it comes to off-road driving and stuff like that. Made that game really cool. I think people weren't super excited for it, but, you know, it was not bad. Sort of like Far Cry Primal. It was alright. You know, it was pretty cool. No one really had any big problems with it, but of course it's Far Cry, and if you've played any of the other Far Cries, then you've played Far Cry Primal, is pretty much what I'm saying. NBA 2K17 is one I do have on my shelf. And that game is absolutely badass. I absolutely love NBA 2K, but of course that's the same thing every year, sort of like FIFA. If if you're buying NBA 2K, you know what you're getting. They are some solid basketball games. And, you know, speaking of FIFA, let's go on to FIFA. FIFA pretty much did the same thing it does every year. Good Ultimate Team, up the graphics a little, and yada yada yada. You know, just added a few things here and there. The biggest thing being the story mode, where you could actually sort of like replicating my career from NBA 2K, which was pretty cool. I think most people are still going to be hooked on Ultimate Team and stuff though, but, you know, nothing holding back. That would look really cool. The story was actually surprisingly touching. I actually thought it was really cool. Quantum Break looks absolutely beautiful, I must say. Same as Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That game looked gorgeous as well. Some two very nice looking games. Lego Marvel's Avengers. Holy cow, can I even say that? Lego Marvel's Avengers. There we go. That game looked, you know, another Lego game. You can't really talk much about that. Another Lego game. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, pretty badass. WWE 2K17. World of Warcraft had some more DLC and stuff coming out. Dead Rising 4 looks pretty badass. But of course, if any of you guys know me, then you know, of course, what my number one pick for this year will be. And it's pretty much the one game I've not properly talked about yet. Battlefield 1. I am freaking hooked on this game, as I hoped I would be. Battlefield 4 is probably my favorite game ever. I've never put more time and hours into a game than Battlefield 4, and for Battlefield 1 to come out and be so gorgeous, good looking, beautiful, hard, just explosions everywhere. It's such a good looking, full on game that I can't help but like it. I can't help but play it over and over again now. Unfortunately, one game that I bought this year that did not come out this year was Rainbow Six Siege. Now, that actually came out last year, but I hadn't bought it at that point. I probably would have called last year's game of the year Rainbow Six Siege. However, I didn't buy it until probably February in 2016. And this year, I've put more hours into Rainbow Six Siege than any other game. So if you guys were interested in what I've played the most this year, if I had to decide like my favorite game of this year overall, it would be Rainbow Six Siege. I've put more hours into that game than any other this year. Rainbow Six Siege is the most tactical, difficult, awesome first-person shooter arguably I've ever played, and I was so surprised because the beta was a little average in my opinion, but when the full game came out, I absolutely love it. I love the DLC arrangement in the sense that the maps are all free, and any characters and anything like that that they add to the game can be unlocked without any paid purchases. But of course, if you want to get the season pass, which is only like $40 or something like that, you can unlock all of these things like a week early, and you don't have to put the time in to unlock them. You've just got them there, which is cool. I think that is how DLC should be released for every game. If you like it, then put a bit of money in, you can get it quicker and you can get it easier, but of course otherwise you guys can just unlock it to your heart's content, which is really cool. But for games coming out in 2016, Battlefield 1 is my favorite game, but man, we have had some awesome titles come out this year. Overwatch hitting the world by storm, Titan 2 surprising everybody, No Man's Sky freaking everybody out alongside Call of Duty, Doom being absolutely awesome, Steep being badass, and Hitman coming out pieces by pieces. Tom Clancy's The Division came out at the start of the year. I bet you thought that came out last year. That one seems like a while ago now. Batman the Telltale series as well, season pass coming out for that. That was all the Batman games coming together into one. We've had a big year in gaming, and I cannot wait to see what next year has to offer. Hopefully we can get some more really cool stories. There's been some big problems with YouTube, just a big year. 2016, not 6th year, holy cow. 2016 has been a marvelous game marvelous gaming year. It has been absolutely crazy. I've absolutely loved it. It's been magnificent, and I can't wait to see what 2017 has to offer. What was your favorite game that has come out this year? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys next year for next year's gaming year. 3 years. I cannot believe it's been that long. Holy cow, this is our 3rd year doing this video. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. TK out, guys. Adios.